Hello everyone! Today we're going to be reviewing Doors Floor 2, a month after release. And I'll be talking about the parts I don't like and the ones I do. And after that, I'll be giving it a rating out of 5. To start off with the cons, I'm going straight to door 145 through 150. While the minecart part isn't too bad, with you just having to duck or move right or left, the grumble part is one of the worst boss fights I've ever played through. It's so long and it feels like there's so many opportunities to die. Along if you have a lot of people, it makes the step even longer. While it's not the worst, it feels like a lot of time wasted and it's just not fun. Surprisingly, the Google is not a con for me though, simply because if you're playing with a lot of people, they can just take it off of you. Another thing I really don't like is the rooms where you have to find the fuses to turn on the machine, because it feels like it just makes you lose a lot of momentum of the run, and it just feels like it's there for a time waster and you're supposed to spend a lot of time in that room. It doesn't really give a challenge and it just wastes your time. And surprisingly though, that is it for cons. For pros, the thing I appreciated the most and was probably my favorite pro is the devs listening to feedback and actually nerfing the game. If you played Floor 2 day of release, you'd know how many entities were spawning and how unplayable it really was. But it only took the devs a couple of days to nerf the spawn rate, which made the game infinitely better, and it's the way it is currently. Another change I appreciated was how ambush worked, and I actually enjoyed having to escape from it, since I felt like the way to escape was nice. And before that, old ambush to me was you just kind of walk in a straight line and you can't really tell when you get to the end. But while this one, it's like you walk down a certain path every single time, so you can kind of understand. The boss fight for the room was also pretty nicely designed, and it felt cool having to run through the hands and do parkour to slowly kill Rush. I'm glad it wasn't like door 150, it actually felt like a challenge rather than being a chore, and I would say it's a pretty good ending to this floor. Overall, the new aesthetic of the game was refreshing, which I know a lot of people were iffy on, but I liked how they strayed away from the hotel, and I'm excited to see what area we get to play through next, since the ending of the last chapter showed a castle, which could lead to some really cool things going on. With all that said, I'm happy with how Doors Floor 2 came out, and I'm certainly excited for the next one. I would give this chapter probably a 4 out of 5 stars, since most of the early problems I had with this chapter were fixed, and it's a pretty good journey overall. The only thing holding me back from giving it a higher rating is door 150 with how much I despised it. But overall, I'm glad how they're listening to the people, and if they keep this up, I'm sure the next chapter will be great.